So a few days ago, I got the chance to check out Pixar's latest accomplishment, if this thing can be considered an accomplishment, Onward, and it was insufferably boring. This is a bad movie, although it's not technically inept. It's Pixar after all. It is creatively bankrupt and incredibly weak. It's the blandest, most uninteresting animated movie I have seen in a while. It's like the people who came up with the story completely ignored the parts where films are supposed to be engaging or somewhat appealing in order to keep people watching them. It's easily the most nothing Pixar film I've ever seen. And I have seen the one with the dinosaur, although I don't remember much about it now, so maybe that one is still worse, I'm not sure, and I have no interest in watching either movie again and find out. The first 20 minutes of Zootopia are more fun and tell a better story than the entirety of this film, and this thing is 90 minutes long. Can you imagine sitting through nothingness for 90 minutes straight? Well, I did, and I never want to do that again. Something I saw on Twitter right after seeing this movie was people commenting on the similarities between Onward and the show Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and although I can definitely see what they're talking about, the comparisons are very thin, and I bet there are hundreds of stories about siblings with a parent that has something supernatural going on about them, so there is no point in trying to say that this is another case where Disney rip off something from Japan, or at least they definitely did not rip off Fullmetal Alchemist, because that show isn't mind-numbingly tedious. Let's talk about the animation for a second. It's pretty well animated, there is movement, the world feels lived in, and it's not static by any means. But the character designs, it's not that they are bad per se, it's just that by Pixar standards, everything feels like a crappy DreamWorks character. And I don't mean that in a positive manner. Everything about the film feels cheap and not at all like a Pixar movie. From a visual standpoint, this is disappointing right from the get-go. And the story perfectly matches the visuals. For a movie about magic, it could have used some on itself. The story is about two brothers trying to do a thing related with magic that will bring their dead father back, and it was as exciting as my tone of voice is making it out to be. I don't remember any specifics about the plot or the characters, I don't remember the music, if there was any, and Pixar has some really good music in their films. Just listen to that Inside Out theme song. It's fantastic, and when you hear it, you immediately associate it with Inside Out. It's something that stands out, unlike anything this film had to offer. This is just not a memorable movie. It's not complete shit, but it's also not worthy of any praise. Nothing and generic are the perfect words to describe this film. Sonic was more entertaining. Onward is the better movie, but Sonic was by far more enjoyable. The only positive thing this film has, besides being generally well put together, there's a beginning, a middle, and end, and there's somewhat of a story, even if it's a weak one, but the only true upside this film had to offer were the voices of Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. The two lead actors did a great job. It was thanks to their charismatic performances that I managed to stay awake until the end. Otherwise, I'm giving Onward a 4 out of 10, but unlike The Invisible Man, this movie is closer to a 3. It's generic and weak to the point where I would call it bad, and I have in the beginning of this video. And for a Pixar film, this thing is an embarrassment. They went from masterpieces like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, The Incredibles, and my favorite film of all time, WALL-E, to this pathetic excuse for a movie. Pixar has truly fallen. I do not recommend this film. Watch that My Hero Academia movie instead. It's far more entertaining. Anyway, see you next time.